Welcome to Daily Papers, the podcast where we break down the latest and most interesting academic papers into something you can actually understand.
Today, we're talking about AI assistants, like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. They're getting smarter and more capable every day. They're no longer just for chatting or writing poems.
Exactly. Now they have tool calling capabilities. That's a fancy way of saying they can connect to and use your other apps. Think about asking your AI assistant to check your emails, add an event to your calendar, or find a file in your Dropbox.
Which is incredibly powerful, but it also opens up a huge can of security worms. Giving an AI full access to your Gmail account is a little scary.
It's very scary. These large language models, or LLMs, are the brains behind the assistants, and while they're amazing, they are not perfectly reliable. They can hallucinate, just make things up, or misinterpret your instructions. Or even worse, they could be tricked by a hacker.
The paper we're looking at today tackles this exact problem. It's called MiniScope, a least privilege framework for authorizing tool calling agents from researchers at UC Berkeley and IBM Research.
So let's set the scene. You tell your AI assistant, hey, find the email from my boss about the project deadline and add it to my calendar. To do that, the AI needs permission to access both your email and your calendar.
The simple way to do this is to just give the AI your password or an access key for both services. But that's like giving a super smart but occasionally unpredictable intern the master key to your entire office. They might do the job perfectly, or they might accidentally shred important documents.
Right, so what are the other options? Well, some systems make you approve every single tiny action. The agent wants to read your inbox. Is that okay? The agent now wants to open an email. Is that okay? It becomes incredibly annoying, and people quickly develop decision fatigue and just start clicking yes to everything without reading.
The other approach is to grant a bunch of permissions right at the start when you connect the app, but this is often way too broad. The paper points out that some existing AI tools ask for permission to delete your emails and calendar events, even if they only advertise read-only features.
This is where MiniScope comes in. It's a framework that acts like a smart security guard or a firewall that sits between the AI agent and all your personal apps.
And it's built on a classic, time-tested security idea, the principle of least privilege.
That sounds technical, but the concept is really simple. It just means any program or user should only have the bare minimum permissions necessary to perform its job, and absolutely nothing more. If you only need to read a file, you shouldn't have permission to delete it.
MiniScope's genius is how it applies this principle automatically. The core idea is what the researchers call a permission hierarchy.
Okay, so what is a permission hierarchy?
MiniScope automatically analyzes all the possible actions an app can do, like read calendar, edit calendar, share calendar, and organizes them into a tree structure from least powerful to most powerful.
Think of it like a company org chart. An intern might only have permission to view documents. A team member can view and edit them. A manager can do all of that, plus share or delete them. The manager's permissions include all the permissions of the people below them. MiniScope builds these org charts for permissions automatically for each app.
So let's walk through how it works. You give your command, find that email and add it to my calendar.
First, the AI agent, which the system doesn't trust, comes up with a plan. Something like, Step 1, list emails in Gmail. Step 2, read the specific email. Step 3, create an event in Google Calendar.
The agent then shows this plan to MiniScope, the security guard. This is the crucial step. MiniScope looks at the plan and uses its permission hierarchy to calculate the absolute minimum set of permissions required.
So instead of just asking for full access to Gmail, it figures out that the agent only needs read-only access, and instead of full access to calendar, it just needs event creation access. This is the least privilege part.
Then it asks you for approval, but in a much smarter way, similar to how your smartphone asks for permissions. It might pop up with a request like, this agent is requesting read-only access to your Gmail and permission to add events to your calendar. And you get options like allow once, allow for this session, or allow always.
This is so much better than being pestered for every single click, and once you approve, MiniScope handles everything. The AI agent never gets your actual passwords or credentials. MiniScope gives it a temporary, limited-use key and checks every single action to make sure it's not stepping out of line.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but the big question is, does it actually work, and is it fast?
The researchers put it to the test. They built a test environment with 10 popular real-world apps: Gmail, Slack, Zoom, Google Drive, you name it. Then they compared MiniScope to other methods.
One of the most interesting comparisons was against another LLM. Basically, they tried asking a super smart AI like GPT-4 to figure out the least privileged permissions for a task.
And the results were fascinating. The LLM-based approach often got it wrong. It would frequently grant way too many permissions, what the paper calls overprivileged, which defeats the whole purpose of being secure. The best models were only optimal about 70 to 80% of the time.
MiniScope, on the other hand, with its mathematical, structured approach, got it right every single time. And what about speed? All this security must slow things down, right?
Nope. That's the other amazing part. MiniScope added only 1 to 6% latency overhead. It's incredibly fast. The approach of using another LLM to check permissions was orders of magnitude slower and way more expensive to run.
So the big takeaway here is that as we connect more of our digital lives to these powerful AI agents, we need to be smart about security. We can't just hand over the keys to the kingdom.
Exactly. MiniScope offers a practical and elegant solution. It doesn't trust the AI, it automatically enforces the principle of least privilege, and it does it all without slowing things down or annoying the user.
It's a really important piece of the puzzle for building AI assistants that are not just powerful and useful, but also safe and trustworthy.
And that's a paper that could have a real impact on how we all use AI in the future.
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in to Daily Papers.